Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Janella Laurie, aka Nina Capone in these streets. You already know. Welcome back to another episode of 10 Minutes to Talk. And today it's open conversation. I want to talk business. I know a lot of business owners are frustrated, overwhelmed, exhausted, stressed, and everything about all of the above. Right. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's address some things. Of course, we will be giving out a brand kit. Of course, you'll see when I throw that up. In order to join the raffle for the brand kit, all you need to simply do is comment in the chat right now. If you're hearing me out there, drop your city in the chat. I don't care where you're joining us from. Drop your city in the chat so I can see who's there. We got hopefully a guest joining us in a second, a therapist to actually kind of give you guys some insight on how to deal with some of this stress. Um, Again, it's a lot going on for business owners. It could be very overwhelming. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up, DJ Weeze? I see you. There's a lot going on for people. Whether you're in just a regular day, 9 to 5, whether you're running your own business, it's a lot of stress, a lot of overwhelm, a lot of uncertainty going on. Um, I'm dealing with people every day. Every single situation is different. So I wanted to get on today. Unfortunately, we did have a guest schedule. They were canceled. So here we are. We're going to talk anyway. We're not going to stop no progress. Y'all know how we do. We're going to keep it moving. And we just really want to get into it. So I do got notes. Y'all know I be making notes. I don't ever read them, but let's get into it. So we want to break down some things today. Real talk, of course, about building and scaling and navigating your hustle, especially for those who are wearing multiple hats. Okay, you're wearing multiple hats. You're doing multiple jobs. You're trying to juggle them because this is how you pay your bills. I want you to chime in. I want you to join the conversation. We may even bring you on screen. It's very important that we understand how to navigate in business, and not just in a traditional business sense, but if you're a hustler. I mean, I feel like a lot of people are hustling out here. They're working a 9 to 5, and then they got the side hustle that they do, and they're not, they're necessary. I could say they're stressed, they're overwhelmed, they're feeling like, there's a lot going on. There's nobody really able to help them with that. We have my girl, Janella Dobbs, third licensed therapist. I'm going to bring her on right now so she can join us and add some insight to some of the things you guys are going through. Hi, Janella.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
How are you?
Listen, right now I got a few calls. Even one of my guests for the day was actually overwhelmed with some things, so she couldn't be here. And I wanted to just, I think we all deal with life. You and I talk about this often,
Mhm.
and I just thought it would be a good way to just kind of jump in, have a live conversation about some of the things people are faced with when it comes down to the multitaskers, the ones who wear 10 hats, 5 hats, 3 hats, the moms and the mentors, entrepreneurs. So, I said, who better else to get on this call real quick than a lady who helps me navigate these things. If you can give us a little insight on I mean, you wear multiple hats, just from your own perspective. Like, how is it right now in this climate?
Um, well, first and foremost, let me close my office door. Yeah, I'll be right with you. All right. Okay. Text me. All right.
We won't keep you long. We know you working. Such a
Huh?
good person.
No, I enjoy kicking it with you, and I am so happy that you've provided this platform for individuals like myself, entrepreneurs, just people that want to take the step to do their own thing and create a future that they can value and a future that they're in control of, and
Yes.
really kind of pushing leadership forward,
Right. Right.
community, and um, people who respect business, business grouping. getting us connected. So I just love this opportunity. Um,
Thank you.
for one, the first thing that, as a licensed therapist, um, in Pennsylvania, and a first generational curse breaker of a person that grew up in North Philly, um, grew up on Section 8, having coming from a family that was hardworking, but individuals who, you know, didn't take the step, because it's scary to take these independent steps to start your own business and do your own thing, especially when we come from family units that we all depend on each other on
Right.
to make it. So it's a plan of whoever's working, keep that job. It helps everybody out. Who's ever in school and they graduate and they get a good job, now you're able to help our family unit move forward. So I
Absolutely.
mean, it's really hard to break out of that system of survival and helping your community and your family survive. So I commend any entrepreneur, any person that took a
Right.
positive risk to step out of what their safe place is, meaning
Mm.
making sure bills get paid, making sure people are taken care of, and and really kind of and sacrificing time away from that work, because bills have to be paid to create your own. In doing that, multitasking is important,
Yes. Yes.
because um and not only is it that important, it's trending. Let's put it that way.
I
And
like
it's glorified
that.
in a sense of you being able to do everything and get everything done in the time that you have allotted to you. I
Right.
think it's been trending, so people have thought it to be positive, meaning that I'm in control of everything that needs to be done, and I'm the one that's able to do it and
Right. Right.
right. But a lot of people don't really realize that our pathways of getting things done, we have hardwired ways that in our brain is hardwired to learn certain tasks, so those tasks become conditioned,
Right.
and that we do it without any kind of,
Effortless.
yeah, any thought
Hmm.
about it. So our brain likes to know where it's going, and it likes to do what it's doing right.
Right. Right.
And a lot of people kind of push against that, because the brain is not built for multitasking.
Mm. Mm.
It's to get something done to the highest efficiency
Right.
of that
Right.
particular task, and
Mm.
learning that hardwired way so that it feels like, nothing when we do it. It
Right.
doesn't give us stress. We know it. But when we start to multitask, it confuses the brain. The brain is like, okay, I only can give 80% in this, and
Right.
I'm giving 100 to this. Only can give 50% to this
Mhm.
at this particular time frame.
Right.
And it confuses the brain, because it's unfinished hardwired tasks.
Mm.
You're doing 5, 6 things at once. You're not putting all to it, and that's stressing the brain.
Right. 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 Right.
So when we
Mm.
talk about multitasking, we're talking about putting undue stress on us in a way that it impedes on our ability to function,
Right.
to make good quality decisions, and for the brain to use all skill sets in order to expand the idea. So
Right.
we kind of stress our brain out when we do multitasking. It doesn't want to do tasking. We can speed up a task by us knowing what we need to do, how we need to do it, and then
Right.
get next task done. Because when we are stressed, um, when our brain is at the capacity where it says, I can't do anymore. I can't operate this way. The body is being exhausted. I'm being overworked, and we're doing half the work that
Right.
needs to be done in these hardwired tasks. We're only
Right.
giving a bit here, a little bit there, a bit there.
Right.
It affects our ability to concentrate, focus.
Hmm.
Affects our ability to um, use this thing that the brain has, and it's called to grow our brain. Um, is certain chemicals that
Hmm.
we create ideas, right? We create
Right.
ideas, we
Right.
build on things. Acetylcholine, that's what it's
Mm.
called. And in this um, neurochemical says when a task gets really hard, we will get stressed. But if we work past the stress, right, then we will be able to grow on this idea. Our
Right.
brain real fatty and meaty and says, hey, we can really grow on this idea. We can expand new ideas and thoughts and feel positive about whatever we're working on so that we can evolve it into something bigger. When we
Right.
don't allow our brain, and it's called neuroplasticity, when we don't allow our brain to get in that element of neuroplasticity where that acetylcholine is there in our brain, making our brain nice and fatty and juicy and growing in a sense that it gives us new ideas, in a sense that it creates positive vibes within us, and it creates the self-efficacy that we can get through this and build this up. When we
Right.
multitask, we don't allow our brain to grow on an idea, to grow on a task. Um, it kind of
So
that part of mm,
is that why people get stuck? Is that what we're seeing where we see people who are like going, 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 and then they stop and don't do nothing at all? Like, is that where that happens at? Can you touch on that? Because I see a lot of people
yeah.
there
So
and they're like, I could do it all, and then they stop. Nothing happens.
yeah. So this is not in this category to me, I believe. In this category, I'm talking about how do we get our brain to grow meaty and fatty and use this acetylcholine chemical to grow on ourselves. They talk about the brain doesn't grow past 25. If you grew up and you they would say, oh, you're grown at that age, your brain doesn't grow anymore. And neuroplasticity says yes, it does. It grows in these
Mm,
where this chemical is let loose, and we can learn and we can grow and build on ideas. What we're talking about with you is um overproductivity. That's what we're
mm,
talking about there. And that touches on um us really revving up really high, rev up high, 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 high,
mhm,
like a car on the expressway going 100 miles per hour, never pulling over for gas, never pulling over to get worked on,
right.
never get pulled over to be cared for, washed. And what do you think's going to happen to that car if it's revved up that high and never pulling over? It's going to crash. So it's
Mm-hmm.
a system within us that was born with us. Hypothalamic pituitary adrenal that was born
Hmm.
in us. It's a stress system. It's a system that grows our stress as it's in us as we're born, and it kind of dictates what stress level we're going to have depending on how we grew up, how we're being taught to deal with the ups and downs of life. So from a kid, this is a built-in system that says, hey, I'm gonna grow with you, and if you have these healthy ways to solve problems, we'll
Hmm.
be we'll probably be okay working with each other because I'll
Right.
get activated, give you a little bit of cortisol, give you a little bit of energy to get over this thing. Once you get over it, we go back to rest and restore. And that's just a
Mm,
healthy way. Things happen up and down life, and we get through it, we process it, we get over it, and we rest.
right.
Right?
Right.
What you're talking about with the rev up is this HPA system is also a part of this autonomic nervous system where it's the fight or flight situation. Everybody knows this fight or flight situation, right? It's trending too.
Yes. Yes.
So the fighter,
Mm-hmm.
it's a part of the autonomic nervous system, and this system has two parts. It has a part that called the sympathetic, which is our rev
Hmm.
up real high, rev,
Go.
overproductive.
Go. Go.
Have the parasympathetic, which is the calm, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is these systems get activated once the HPA starts making the cortisol, because it says we're in danger, or we need to solve a problem, or it's a challenge there. So it activates this particular system. Now, this system is needs to be balanced. So if we're always revved up high and hype based off whatever internal triggers or external triggers, with the sympathetic, we're always going to be revved up really high. Rev, all way high. And then our body says, that's
Right.
enough. I cannot go this long and this hard. I'm going to have to shut you down. And
Mm-hmm.
um, and that process is called the allostatic load. Basically, your body is saying, hey, something's going on. We got to get through something. It's a challenge that needs to be met because it's next to a threat. And we kind of, and the body says, oh, you didn't solve it yet, it's not over yet. No, I'm going to release more cortisol, more norepinephrine, more energy. Oh, you didn't do it yet, you didn't solve it yet. What's going
Right.
on?
Right.
And then it adds another, it's called an allostatic load. It puts another
Mm.
dose of cortisol energy in you, because this bear must be big. It
Right.
must be something that we probably need, all of you, all of your system, right, to
Right.
get activated to fight this thing. And once it gets revved up in the allostatic load and it gives you all this cortisol energy, your body can't handle it, and it tries to save itself because it's imbalanced.
Mm.
Us is it puts you in parasympathetic immediately, boom, and shuts you down.
Mm.
That's that anxiety high rev to the depression
Yes.
low. You
Yes.
you may find yourself laying in the bed like me, wrapped up in a taco, uh, with a Pepsi on the side with some.
There you go. We
On the
all been
side,
there.
I done went hard in something that may have been perceived, something that may have not been healthy for me, something that may have just took everything out of me, and then I'm down for 2 3 days. And that's the balance of it. It's the fight or flight, sympathetic, because that's where the fight or flight lives. It lives in this hyper productivity place,
Right.
um, of the autonomic nervous system. But the parasympathetic is we restore and we relax, and we've gotten over it and we did it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I think what gets us there is our thought process,
Hmm.
triggers from trauma,
Right.
fear, shame,
Mm-hmm.
um, a lot of these guilt, regret, a lot of these internal uh, struggles within us create these thoughts. Our thoughts predict how we feel, and how we feel predicts our behavior.
Right.
So if we have an anxious thought that our life is threatened because either someone left, or a bill came in the mail, or our kids are in a situation that worries us, whatever that threat is, it that threat activates part in our brain, um, our center, the amygdala. Um, it it kind of says, "Oh, alarm, fear, something's happening," and
Right.
then we start to create and look around and say, "This feeling here, what is this feeling?" Our body is trying to figure it out, and it comes up with whatever the reason is, and that would be the trigger to our fear that triggers a thought. A
Right.
thought, you know, we're not going to survive this, or we're going to lose our house. So that's the thought. The thought produces a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel inadequate. I feel powerless. I feel weak. I feel unprepared, unsupported. From that, then the action is taken. The action,
Yes.
I work harder. I work harder. I do
Yeah.
overtime. I do this. I do this. I be there for other people who I think is going to support me when this thing go down. So I
That's
rev
that.
up
Yes.
high. I rev up high. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a cycle that may not be true. The thought
Mm.
may not have been true, but it
Right.
produced an action, that revs you up. And I think the work is really monitoring how we think, and really trying to identify truth in the thoughts that we have, especially if
Absolutely.
not positive thoughts. So, this is for the people who shut down. You're shutting down because your body is trying to save your life. Um, we have a body that needs to be in a particular it needs to be in particular balance, homeostasis. If you're off,
Hmm.
that's called stress. When you're off, that means that the body is not at its optimum place to produce, to have a balanced mind state, emotional state, physical state. When we're
Right.
out, and we get triggered out of it a lot, but making it back, making it from the sympathetic back to the parasympathetic to calm and restore is the work. But if you don't know how to come back to yourself, to come
Right.
back to calmness, we have an issue there. And there are cycles that we already are involved in, that is already
Mm.
conditioned in our conscious mind, because a lot of people don't know that. They really think what their conscious mind is producing is actually what they're in control of,
Right.
but that's not true. It's your
Hmm.
subconscious that's already made the choice, and you're just living
Mm.
it out through your conscious. So it's
Mm.
hardwiring going on, that we are going down without even knowing it. Like even
Right.
this interview with you, it wasn't unconscious, it was subconscious, meaning that it was already set hardwire in my mind that we would do something. You know what I mean? That something
Yes.
will
Yes. And here we are. Right.
happen. But it's crazy because we really think we're in control of our thoughts, but our thoughts is in control of us. Once it's
Yes.
hardwired, you're being dragged like a rag doll,
Hmm. Hmm.
especially if it ain't good hardwiring from the
Yeah.
mind. And hardwiring come from just us dealing with the ups and downs of life,
Mm.
and our body and mind's ability to want to stay alive. It starts to hardwire things for safety, for love, for connection, and for survival. And it hardwires fear. And it hardwires these pathways to keep us out the way. But the brain is only trying to keep us alive. It's not really a place. A lot of people think like, oh man, the brain is built for us to be smart,
Right.
just supposed to make me money. It's like, you know what I mean? I supposed to went to school. I have
Yeah.
all these reasons. I have to build this brain up because
Hmm.
it's built to hold knowledge, ideas, and create something for me to make it out here.
Right.
If you feel that education is important for your survival,
Hmm.
if that's hardwired in you, then you're going to believe education is the way to go of building knowledge for your
Right.
survival. Because the brain just wants you to survive.
That's it.
That's the job.
So it's
Of
like by any means necessary, it's going to put those things in place so you can carry on, no matter what it is.
brain, yes. I mean, the brain is so advanced on keeping us alive and going every day, that it
Mm.
rewires itself and you catch up with it when you experience a threat or harm or pain, to the extent where you can't cope, or a love that's so abundant to the extent that it's overwhelming. The brain is going to hardwire itself to keep you safe, and then you'll start to think that, wow, I don't think like that no more. Well, sometimes we don't think like that no more, we don't do this like that no more. It's coming from a brain that is hardwired from an experience, because it's hard to intentionally
Right.
hardwire a brain. And that's the
Mm.
that's the, the thing with therapy. um Trauma don't care about your affirmations.
Right. Right.
You
How
can
about
have
that? How
affirmations
about
all, you ain't rewiring what was
mm-mm.
wired. You're not unlearning what was learned. That's
Right.
deep work. So we
Right.
we have these motivational experiences, and these affirmations, and it makes us feel good. But then you back into the slump the next day until you keep hearing it again and again. But that doesn't mean it's turning into a habit to hear it, but it's not changing the behavior
Right. Right.
that was formed from the brain to keep us safe that may not have been good for us.
Mm.
Because the brain doesn't know
Ooh,
what's good or bad for you. It just wants to keep you alive.
keep you
So
safe.
we can
Keep you alive.
engage a lot. You listen, we can engage in a lot of things that feels good, but it's not good for us, and things that feel bad that may be good for us. Because the
Hmm.
brain is at your will.
Mm.
So you have to fight through the resistance of the brain when you know what's best for you. But
Right.
that fight of resistance is the fight in the subconscious. It's not the fight in the conscious.
Hmm.
you know am I going to where
No,
we at?
because I want you to tell. I see. I know how to let you talk. Like, listen, we do
Yo,
this all the time off camera,
listen,
so we know how to do this.
I
But I do
mean,
want you to talk for a few
am I
minutes
making sense? That's all that
about
matters.
what you do
Like,
and how you know how people can get in touch with you, but what you actually do and how you can help people who are dealing with this, because I know, just looking at the chat right now, there's a lot of people who
mhm.
are, who need your help, who may not realize they need your help, because you touched on some things now that I feel like people are like, oh my gosh, that's me. I'm
Mhm.
going through that. I can identify what she's talking about, but I never looked at it in that light. So if you could just shed a little light on, because I didn't give you a full introduction because I wanted you to kind of get
Yeah, we
busy
gotta do,
first.
but,
And
but let's
then,
take it back because there's always room to take it back, and that's where we
yeah,
at as a people now. Is that it's okay to take a step back and redo what should have been done. It's
right,
okay to say, you know, um, hey, let's rewind this. Let me, even with each other. Hey, let me
right.
rewind that conversation. I didn't mean to say it like that. I meant to say it
Yes,
like this. Or let me rewind this action. You know what I mean? When I feel this way, I do this type of action. You know, help me out. If ever I'm in this situation, I'm gonna need you to do this and that. Can you do that for me? When we backtrack and kind of make up steps, because we just allow this damaging residue to stay around our relationships and stay around our connections. We're human. It's okay. If we can walk forward, we can also walk backwards.
that part,
So
that part.
so let's practice here. Let's take it back and let's say, oh, I didn't properly introduce you. Uh,
Yes.
let's go ahead back because it's okay.
Go back because it
It's
is. It's okay, and you understand me. See, y'all, I'm getting my therapy, y'all.
okay.
Like, so,
You know,
no, but so
okay.
let's go back, and I need you to introduce yourself. Like, because many people, a lot of people in here identify like, oh my god, I just realized who that was. So they know our history, they know who you
Yeah.
are, but they don't know who you are. You know what I mean? So let's go back. So I need you to introduce yourself, who you are, your business, and what you actually do.
So, my name is Janella Dobbs. I am from Philadelphia, one of five children, from a family that is family orientated, but stuck in the struggle and making it out as a family unit. So I'm proud of my family, of us trying to step on things, generational things that's tried to hurt us. And I am one of those individuals from my family that decided that my my predicament doesn't describe me. It doesn't where I live or where I grew up does not complete me. This doesn't power me. The hood doesn't power me or the people in it. So I started to lean on what was I powered by and what was God telling me that I was born to do and born to be. So at 40 years old, or close to it, coming from Section 8, North Philly. I went to school. I went to school. I went to college. I played ball, but so many things were hardwired in me that it doesn't matter what I did uh, to enhance me, where I came from, and the code that was hardwired in me to be, to protect me, to keep me safe. to keep me connected to what I felt was familiar and comfortable to me. I I couldn't escape that. So I had education growing up, but it didn't matter. School didn't matter to me. It was my community, my survival in it, my protection. And uh, next to, I had to get 40 years old to where I crashed. Like you said, parasympathetic shut me down for months. I mean, I was
Mhm.
drawn just like the shades in my room.
Right.
And everything in my life had failed before then. I failed at being a rapper. I failed at being a model. I failed at being a basketball player. I failed at being meeting a guy that would save me. I had I failed from the streets of coming out with wounds that were also hardwired in me, experiences that also changed my brain. So it was hard for me to get out of this stump. It was 10 years that
Mm.
I was down, really trying to figure out who am I and what happened. I'm trying to figure out what happened. You know, imagine this, someone shoots you with an arrow right in your chest. You're bleeding. The arrow's still in there.
Right.
Instead of me pulling the arrow out, I spent 10 years looking around on who shot the arrow, why did they shoot it, who am I to you, and why did you do that? And I spent so many years ruminating, chewing on the harm and the disrespect and the displacement of my being. I was chewing on that for 10 years.
Hmm.
And I would still be chewing on it today if I didn't give somebody a ride somewhere because I didn't have a way out mentally. This ain't something that just came out the blue. I had to get a certain level of knowledge and consciousness to say that wasn't me. What I've been through is not me. And then I can change it. I can change the way I think about me and everybody else. I can change it to what I want, and I got that opportunity to do so. I mistakenly tricked into some school to give somebody a ride. Long story, you can find this story out at another time. But
Hmm.
I learned about my brain. I learned about growing up and the things that were poured into me and the things that was done to me and the things that I've done to myself. And I was so caught up on the mistake, the mistakes I made that took me further from this
Right.
fantasy life of making it out, that I couldn't even see that it was time going by that could have that I could have maneuvered
Hmm.
and to get me out of this state, to get me out of the physical state and out of the
Right.
physical community. I didn't know that. I spent 10 years on it. But I found psychology. I found neuroscience. I found that what I was thinking wasn't me. I was surviving. I was surviving.
Right.
So I knew that I was surviving and I was okay with that because me surviving is not a personal hit to my personhood. I'm trying to stay alive. Even though if it's the worst thing ever, that's what my brain decided to do to keep me out here. And I appreciate that. But I don't need you no more. So I had to work out of that to say parts of my brain keeping me alive don't give a damn about what I'm saying or where I'm at or what I'm doing. It'll keep me here forever. I have
Yes.
to my will. So I've learned psychology. I went to school for a few years at 40. I already had my bachelor's, and I fell in love with counseling, fell in love with psychology, fell in love with neuroscience, fell in love with sociology. I fell in love with my people again. I fell in love with myself. So I am I went the long way because sometimes Black people, we need a story. Long story short, your girl then came from North Philly streets. I thought rap was gonna get me there. For a lot of y'all know about me being a rapper. I'm still an artist. I still love creativity. I used it to get where I'm at. I
Yes.
use rap as transferable skills that made my businesses blossom. So if you're a rapper or you're a creative, you have the have the thing that makes it all happen. You just got
That's
to
it.
get your
That's it.
mind. But I eventually graduated. I went back to school around 40. I was already done, mentally and physically depleted. I don't know why I kept going there. I just kept following a good feeling because it felt better than home. You know, people said I
Right.
was running sick, but I was running a good feeling, and
Right.
that's in the beginning. But I got the degree. I graduated. I wanted to be a therapist straight off the bat. That was my goal. That was my passion. I wanted to teach you guys what this brain is, what it's about, how to control it, how to move forward. And I was so hype about that. I was doing seminars, but God ain't wanted for me at that time. And my partner and I started our first business. We
Mhm.
supported adults with disabilities, teach them independent skills, and teach them maladaptive skills and all of it. So I clinically supervise other therapists, behavioral specialists, skill builders, all that. I've learned how to run and manage a business for over 8 years. In the last, since the pandemic, I said it's time. It's time to start this practice. It's time to invest in a building. It's time to place me back in Philly, um, um, to do this work and to make it easy and make it lovable and make it lovable, hopeful, and easy for
Yeah.
us to identify cycles because we
Yes.
feel all this stuff and people don't understand. You don't understand me. You don't understand how I feel. You don't know and I understand that, but I know a cycle because that's what people using against you. Cycles and patterns. So we
Absolutely.
could go from the cycles and patterns of how people are using and abusing and how you use and abusing yourself. We can backtrack all the way up from that, all the way deep down and get
Mhm.
to the source of everything. So
Exactly.
that's my work. My work is making uh, trauma care easy for us to identify, to want to do it, to bring honor and respect to care for our people by being a clinician for our people. This is where my heart is now. So I wrote a book that's called Expensive Trauma. I'm in a process of doing courses now on expensive trauma and also courses on um, how to separate your self worth from your trauma. It's called Survival Refund. So I'm working on all this because I feel like this. I don't like what I see in us. And I don't like us sometimes. And I'm gonna be honest. But I feel like if I get into this work and teach us skills, we start to love each other again because we start to love ourselves. Because the end
Mhm.
goal is this, not to be scared of each other. I think
Right.
we are all traumatized collectively from being denied, being neglected, and being abused, and that coming down generationally. Um, I feel like it's drawing us not to love each other anymore because our trauma responses are not connecting with us as a people. We are in relationships where we're trauma bonding. We are in families that's trauma bonding. We're in communities that's trauma bonding. That means that I got my survival mode on, you got yours on, and we communicating. We can't get nothing done because we both not healed. So you really don't know me and I really don't know you. So getting us
Right.
back to our authentic self of coming out into the world, our most genuine true self, communicating most genuine and true way can kind of close these gaps. So that's the work that I'm doing, getting us to give each other flowers while we're alive, because to show support and to love each other while we're alive can dictate and really move a person's position. Because I could be going one way where I'm positioned to lose my life, but having
Right.
someone not be scared of me, but genuinely come to me and say, I see greatness in you. I want to help you. Here's what I'm presenting. Come by here, do this. You may spark something where that person's path changes from
Right.
being someone that's hit over there to being someone that's saved and supported over here. And I
Exactly.
think that's what I've been doing for each and every person that I touch, trying to let them know who they are, give them love and give them tools to kind of steer away from whatever that trauma or hurt or deep pain or neglect or abandonment got them going. I could
Right.
talk forever with,
Right.
especially because I can't really see nobody uh uh on here,
Well, I got the
and
book up
comments.
for those who are looking. Well, I know because you're not on a big screen, but we do have the book up for
No,
those who are interested in purchasing the book. The link in the book is right on the screen. Excuse me. The link will go to the chat. The link should already be in the chat for you to grab your
mhm.
copy. Janelle, I know you gotta work, so you got real work to do behind the scenes. I just needed to borrow
You
you.
know,
We will be
I
back.
I
We're
love.
gonna try to do this weekly. She don't listen to me, but she do listen to me
Oh
sometimes.
no,
But so we are going to try to do this weekly. I want to get Janella back into the flow of talking to you guys. Again, and supporting her books, her movement. She has courses coming. She's phenomenal at what she does. She's not just
I
talking. I, I think a lot of people out here, and you and I talk about this a lot. For those who know, I was a therapist myself, but therapists need therapists all the time. Trust me. And she's been there for me. We've a little over 20 years of
yes,
friendship and building
I,
and going through a lot of things together. So, like I said, I will be pulling her, and I can't give y'all dates and times. We both have extremely busy schedules, but today was a convenience that we actually was like, you know what? I was like, "What you doing? Jump on, let's go,
oh
let's
my
get this
god,
popping." I think
like
it's
I don't
important
know what the
that we jump in.
what am I going to
Just
say?
talk. I know. I said you'll figure it out. I ain't even worried about it. Just go. So I think this is
Uh,
needed. It's needed for my audience especially.
thank
And
you,
these people need to connect with you. So
thank you so
definitely,
much.
you
And
guys grab the book.
yep,
Um,
and I give them and I have to write things down. Um, that's me giving myself grace. You can find expensive trauma on Amazon. You can also
it's on the
find
link.
it.
It's on the screen.
Okay. Do you have amazoniancreations.com on there?
Nope.
So
Let's put that on there too.
Amazoniancreations.com is a website that talks about what this book will solve. It talks about who this book is for, which is everybody that's on here watching me. This book is for you. I just didn't want to sell a book because right now this is a movement. It's liberation. It's time. It's no better time than now. We live in unprecedented times. Stop playing. You need somebody that understands you, that you've watched come from the mud, that's coming with something that's of value. So hit that website up. I give you 30 reasons why you need this book, or 33. I give you an
Okay, I
assessment on
it.
there. I created an assessment. It's called the Expensive Trauma Indicator Scale, because it's not about money. I'm not trying to sell books. I'm trying to start a movement, introduce a new way to see trauma among our people in a way that is using words that we understand. I put words to what we have been experiencing, but never ever had the words to express it. This is in this book. So I want you to go on the website, take that assessment. It's going to be like 10 questions. It is confidential. Your results come to you. I'm not trying to sell a book. I'm trying to sell you on you. It's time for you to meet you and to be great. If you score, the results come back to your email. If you score moderate or high, for having patterns, deep seated emotional wound patterns affecting the way you spend money, you earn, you live, and you lead, I need you to purchase this book. If you score low, I need you to purchase this book for somebody you know who will score high. I want
Mhm.
you guys to take the test. I want you guys to, and it comes back to you. I don't see the results. Share those results with me. Come back on Nina's platform. Let me know how you scored. Any questions about expensive trauma? If you want to know a little bit more about how you can address these patterns, um, I could set you up to come in, speak to me to learn a little bit more about what you're experiencing as it relates to deep seated pain in the way you are moving in your money life. Um, what else? Feel better with Janella on Instagram. My nonprofit group hug dot community on Instagram. Um, and Out of Harm's Way, which is my practice here in Philly, that I built from the ground up. It's not nonprofit. It's Janella D. Dallas. I planned this for 5 years. It's all for the love of my community, that I'm came back to do this. A lot of people think that this is a game. No, I don't. I want everyone to take advantage of therapy. Everybody don't have to be in your business. And this is true therapy, not somebody just listening and ha 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 and all of this stuff. It's really going in
Right.
and doing the work. For those who don't have insurance, but you have a job, go to your HR department. Tell your job, hey, I want to be in, to be um a part of the EAP program. Is the employee assistance program. They have, or they should be contracted with therapists, and your job pays for 6 or 7 or 8 sessions
Mhm.
just so you can try therapy for the first time, so you could go to a place that is safe for you. Whatever you talk about is your business, and that, because here's the thing, we talking about our business to everybody else. You weaponize, you weaponizing your weakness to people. When you go out there telling them about this and about that, they're going to
Yes.
use this and that on you.
Mhm.
You don't need your intimate parts of you weaponized. Use therapy for what it is. You'll go to the doctors. This ain't no different. Take your butt there, unpack, figure some things out. Let's
Mhm.
take over the world. That's
That's
what
it.
this is.
That's it.
I
That's
love
it.
you, Nina. I really
Love
do.
you
Like,
more.
listen, I appreciate you. You know, I don't get on platforms. I don't get invited. This I'm selling something that's not attractive. I don't have any game with this. Um, I'm just doing the work. I'm on the ground doing the work. So I thank you so much for
Thank
creating this
you for
place.
being here.
Yes, and
Well,
hopefully
we got you get ready. We got my partners on also tuned in. So we will again, you will have a platform. If I don't do anything else, aside from sharing minds, you guys, I am personally taking responsibility. So I'm gonna say it to the world that you will have a platform
thank you
because
because
your
I'm
word
working.
has to be
I
out there. You're doing the work. I know you don't have a lot of time, but like I said, we will figure that part out. That's not a problem because I come spend the night. They say spend the night. I'm spending the night. We here
Listen,
till in the
I
middle of
got
the
I
night.
got the whole basement set up. I mean, I'm ready. I just haven't had the time to go on there and really kind of kick it with my people. But if
Right.
working with people like you that is an expert on marketing, an expert in advancing on how to use connections to create wealth, create connections, create a business, create a message. Right here is a message. This is a
Right.
message of, this is a healing hustle for real. Like, this is a new wave of
That
thinking.
part.
We got to heal in order for us to really, really be back in position of where we
Right.
were
Right.
at. It ain't no handouts. It ain't no handouts. It's healing,
Right.
you
Right.
know?
It has
So
to be
hit my
done. So without the
pages.
healing, guys. Hit
Yeah.
her up. I'm gonna drop all the pages in the actual on the YouTube, on the Facebook, so you guys will see all. I'll update everything. Since this wasn't technically a planned show, so I'm gonna make sure all her information is in the description. And again, we're gonna be back. This is not it. This is gonna be something that's ongoing. Y'all see she in there. She's supposed to be working. I'm such an interruption. This that BFF energy, y'all. I'm a pain. I'm a little
Yeah.
sister for life. But
I gotta get.
so we will be back, like I said, on a weekly basis. We don't, I can't tell y'all when. So as time allows, that's her beautiful office, you guys. So she's the real deal. If you're looking, we all need help with something in some way, probably even if we don't even know. And I think that's important that, we reach out to somebody. It don't have to be me. It ain't got to be her, but somebody. You need the help. And if you need guidance on finding someone that resonates with you, your personality, your mindset, your business, reach out to us. We're here as a resource. If nothing else, we understand financials and you don't got it and you might not even have a job, but hey, it's something out there for you. So make sure you reach out to us. We do appreciate
Yes.
everybody that tuned in, everybody that interacted with the chat, of course. Janella, go
Thank
get some work
you
done. I might
guys.
need to
Don't.
come in. I need to make an appointment.
Yeah, you got to listen. You listen. You know how it is. It ain't. If for those who don't understand therapy, it's not difficult. Sometimes you think that no one's capable or able to solve or help you solve your problems or understand how deep things is. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. I was with you. I What you gonna do for me? Nothing.
Right.
But when they tapped on it, when the knowledge and the clinicians and the people I met in my life tapped on something that I couldn't even touch, that's when I knew I needed to change careers and share it with you. You're done talking. Trendy depression, trendy stress, trendy narcissism, trendy all of this advocacy talk. Let's do the work.
Let's
Let
do the work.
me show you one example, one thing that you can add to your life that will change your life moving forward. All you got to do is know one thing, and I'm willing to teach you that one thing. So stay tuned with Nina. Let me know if I'm needed again. If you want me, come find me. We could do a session, buy the book. I'm ready. I'm ready to put what I've learned on the ground, boots on the ground with it. So
Nice.
holla at me.
All right. Thank you again. I will talk to you on the other
See?
side. I'll talk to you later, actually. So we'll
All right.
chat, but I'm going to go ahead and let you go.
I
And
love
guys, you hang on for a minute.
you. Thank
We will just continue with just thanking you guys for being here today. This was an amazing session with Janella Dobbs, clinician, CEO, business entrepreneur, and so many other things. Great friend of mine. Again, we will be working on building her a platform so she can make time. Again, and sometimes we just need help making time. So we will be helping her to make time to reach out to get to you guys and make these connections because it's very important. But other than that, I'm going to get out of here because my 10 minutes always go over to an hour. This should be the 1 hour of talk. But again, we had a great podcast today. So again, thank you again for joining in. Thanks for the interactions in the chat. I'm going to get out of here because I went way over 10 minutes, of course. And I appreciate you guys for listening. I will be dropping snippets and Janella's information will be in the description of the actual YouTube page. So make sure you go to YouTube or Facebook and you'll see everything there. And we'll be also rebroadcasting this episode everywhere that you can find me. You'll find the episode as well. Thanks again for tuning in to another 10 Minutes to Talk. I'm your host, Jamila Laurie. In the streets, they call me Nina Capone, so you already know how